So, what if I told you that the same tech that figures out your next favorite show on Netflix is also teaching cars how to drive all by themselves? Yep, we're talking about artificial intelligence, and we are about to break down how it really works, starting with the apps you and I use every single day.
You know the feeling, right? It all starts with a simple question. You finish binging a show, and boom, Netflix serves up a new list of recommendations that are almost creepily perfect. It feels like it's reading your mind. Well, it's not exactly magic, and understanding how it works is really the key to unlocking the secrets of all modern AI.
That secret sauce behind Netflix's recommendations and so much more is a concept called machine learning. You can think of it as the engine driving modern AI, and it's all about teaching computers not just to follow instructions, but to actually learn.
Okay, so here's the core idea. Instead of a programmer sitting there writing code for every single possible scenario, they build an engine that learns on its own. It just gobbles up massive amounts of data, finds all these hidden patterns, and then uses those patterns to make predictions. It's a huge shift from being told what to do to learning what to do.
So how does it actually learn? Well, it usually follows this pretty simple three-step recipe. First, you feed it data, and I mean lots and lots of it. Then it goes into training, where it churns through all that data to figure out the rules and connections. And finally, it uses that trained model to make a prediction or give you an output. So, data in, find the pattern, prediction out.
And let me be clear, when we say data, we mean literally anything. For one AI, the data might be thousands of pictures so it can learn the difference between an apple and an orange. For another, it could be super complex medical records to help find patterns in diseases. The kind of data you give it completely defines what the machine can learn.
Okay, so let's bring this all back to Netflix. We can use that exact three-step process we just talked about to see how it gets to know your movie taste so well. Let's break it down. Step 1, data input. This is everything you do. It's the obvious stuff, like the star ratings you give a movie, but it's also the subtle stuff, like which shows you binge in a day versus which ones you quit after 10 minutes. Next, model training. This is where the AI sifts through all that behavior, finds the patterns, and learns that, hey, people who liked that sci-fi show also tended to like this one. And the final, prediction, that's your personalized top picks for you row. It's simple, but it is incredibly powerful.
And here's where it gets really interesting. This whole learn from data process isn't just stuck inside your software. It's now giving actual physical machines the power to see, learn, and act in the real world.
Which, of course, brings us to our next topic, modern robots. We're now moving from the digital world of recommendations to the physical world of action, where AI is basically the brains for some pretty incredible mechanical bodies.
I know, when you hear the word robot, you probably think of something from science fiction. But if you strip all that away, a robot is really just three basic things. It has sensors, like cameras and microphones, to take in information. That's the data input we talked about. It has actuators, motors and limbs, to actually move and do things. And it has a controller, the computer brain, to process all that data and decide what to do next. And listen, this isn't just some concept. These things are already everywhere. In factories, they're the tireless arms building our cars and smartphones with superhuman precision. In hospitals, they're right there assisting surgeons in super delicate operations or helping care for patients. They're making medicine safer and way more effective. But we're now pushing into an even more advanced era. We're moving beyond robots that just follow a script to robots that can operate, adapt, and make decisions completely on their own.
And that right there, that is the key difference. A normal automated robot just follows a script. An autonomous robot writes its own. It can navigate our complex, messy, changing world and make its own choices to reach a goal, all without a person holding a remote control.
So how in the world do they pull that off? Well, they do it by combining everything we've just discussed. They use tons of advanced sensors to gather data about what's happening around them. Then, powerful AI models, just like the one Netflix uses, process all that data to make smart decisions in real time.
And again, this isn't future tech. It is happening right now. Self-driving cars are maybe the ultimate example, constantly sensing traffic and making thousands of driving decisions every second. You've got drones that can autonomously search disaster areas for survivors, and specialized robots that can go into places way too hazardous for humans, like nuclear sites or the deep sea.
So this is all incredible, truly world-changing technology. But with this new level of machine intelligence and autonomy,
comes a whole new level of responsibility and some very, very difficult questions we have to answer as a society.
I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. We have built machines that can act entirely on their own, based on what they've learned. But what happens when they learn the wrong thing? Or when their actions have consequences that nobody, not even their creators, could have predicted?
And this is exactly why the whole conversation around AI is shifting. This is no longer just a technical problem for engineers to solve in a lab. It's become a profound ethical challenge for all of us. When you give a machine the power to act, you also have to build a framework for responsibility.
And that brings us to the big one, the final, critical question. If a self-driving car gets into an accident, who's at fault? Is it the owner who was in the car? The company that manufactured it? What about the programmer who wrote the AI? There are no easy answers here. And as this technology gets deeper and deeper into our lives, it's a question we're all going to have to grapple with.